Time, the first currency you ever spend, the resource that reveals every leak and every possibility. Time is the only currency that starts counting down the moment you arrive. Everything else you can recapture. You spend it before you ever earn $1. You trade it long before you understand its value. You scatter it across expectations, pressures, and responsibilities that drain more than they deliver. And somehow, you're expected to build a prosperous life, however you define that, from whatever remains. Your relationship with time mirrors your relationship with prosperity. Because prosperity isn't something you chase, it's something you embody. And time is the currency that reveals how deeply you believe that. Time doesn't just measure your hours. It exposes the places where your energy leaks. It shows you where you underprice your gifts, where your standards quietly collapse, where your nervous system is overextended, where resentment might be growing, where your yes is an obligation disguised as agreement, where financial depression begins its slow creep, where your days run you instead of moving with you. And this is why, in the prosperity ecosystem, time is the first currency of trust. Trusting yourself to say yes from integrity instead of obligation. Trusting yourself to say no without shrinking. Trusting that your desires are worth honoring. Trusting divine timing enough to know that if something hasn't arrived yet, it's only because you're still becoming that version of you who can hold its fullest expression. When you're bracing, time feels scarce. When you're misaligned, time becomes unpredictable. When your capacity is frayed, time evaporates before you can catch it. And in seasons like this, when the world accelerates and the demands intensify, you'll feel the pull to overspend your time, your attention, your care. Your calendar will swell with competing priorities, and your nervous system will brace against the weight of what's being asked of you. The chaos of others will test your bandwidth. But when you return to your center, when you let your hours be shaped by who you've become and who you are becoming, time begins to move differently. It stops collapsing. It stops constricting. It stops punishing you. Time softens. Time expands. Time becomes coherent. Not because you've mastered productivity, but because you've stopped abandoning yourself. Pause here for a moment. Where did your attention go first? Did the whispers immediately start listing what still needs to be done? Or did you feel the quiet anticipation of what might come next? That single moment tells you everything about your current relationship with time. Because time reveals what's real long before money ever does. The hour that felt like 5 minutes when you were in your power, the project that flowed the second you stopped forcing it, the timing that felt uncanny because everything aligned at once. That wasn't magic. That was you, aligned, attuned, unbraced. Some might call it luck, but what you actually felt was coherence. And coherence occurs when your choices fully align with your capacity. There is always a moment, slight but unmistakable, when your relationship with time shifts from pressure to clarity. You'll feel it first in your chest, then in your decisions. Consider the shape that your hours are taking. Where does time feel heavy? Where does it feel porous? Where does it expand in your hands? And where does it disappear before you even begin? These questions reveal the shape of who you're becoming and the direction your life is ready to take. Because your time is the first autobiography you ever write, and every hour is a declaration of the future you're willing to build. Reflection prompt. Where is your time revealing a leak you've been avoiding? What commitments drain you faster than they refill you? What becomes possible when you lead your hours from your center instead of your fear? Daily affirmation. I spend my time like gold. I honor the spaces that expand me. I choose only what strengthens my future. My hours reflect my highest commitments. Time rises to meet my leadership. Every hour you spend is building the person you're becoming. Choose like your future is watching, because it is. Postscript. Profit is protest, and so is refusing to let your hours be consumed by urgency. Time is not a debt you owe the world. It is a resource that shapes your future. Protect it like it is priceless. Spend it with courage. Let it carve a future that you're proud to step into. Time spent from intention becomes profit in every form that matters.